Hi there, it's Dermot again, and I'm just going to do step 7 with you. And that's humbly asked him to remove our shortcomings. So I'm just going to go over what that all means as I've interpreted. So humbly, to be humble. So what is humility? And that's letting go of ego. So when you feel humble, you don't feel you need to defend yourself because you've done nothing wrong. You're clean and clear within yourself. You know your ego is not important anymore. So it's very much a spiritual, being in a spiritual place. Now the ego, as you know, will tell you things that aren't really true. It'll tell you how bad you are or how great you are. No medium. It'll tell you that things are not working for you and they won't work for you. So it's very much a lot of subconscious stuff there. Whereas the humility is more of an internal, heart-based feeling and, I suppose, attitude and belief. Whereas you feel that you are okay. So humility versus humiliation. So to explain humility, well, it is the exact opposite of humiliation. Humiliation is feeling totally mortified. And if anybody has been in alcoholism or addiction and has suffered from blackouts, you'll know what humiliation feels like. I know what it was like the next day when I'd get up and I'd go into a public place or go meet people and I'd be mortified thinking, did I meet you last night? Did I do anything to you last night? Did I say anything to you last night? How did I get on? And I would have no recollection. And it was terrible going into that situation because I just didn't know. And that was humiliation. The humility part of that is not having that feeling of humiliation. You do not need to have that feeling because you're humble in that sense. And there's nothing there to make you feel embarrassed or humiliated or mortified. The benefits of living life humbly, well, you're going to get the peace of mind and be able to handle stress. Because again, in a sense, if you're not focusing on all your character flaws and your defects and things that are going wrong with you and around you and around the world and everywhere else, then you will be at peace. Yes, everything is happening around people. We can't live in a bubble and live in denial. It's not, but it's how you interact or how you interpret things, which is important in that sense. Dealing with stress, you wouldn't feel stress as much because you'll be able to get through it no matter what. And a truly humbly person can't be offended. And what I mean by this is, if somebody gave me a sarcastic remark, my blood would boil. I'd probably snap back or react back to them with an equally bad sarcastic remark. But a truly humble person would take that and they would look at it and say, it's got nothing to do with me because I cannot relate to what that person just said about me. So it's about them. So they are the ones who are suffering with sarcasm, not making sarcastic remarks to me. So that would be a truly humble, will not be affected at an emotional level of what other people say or do. So ask him or her or whatever you wish to ask, and just asking prayer. Prayer is asking, you're not talking about going down on your knees and reciting decades of the rosary and things like that, or the Our Father. But no, just prayer is whatever you make prayer be. And really all prayer is just saying, please help me. At the end of the day, no matter how you recite your prayers, it's just, please help me. Meditation is listening. Meditation is grounding. And, we do need to ground ourselves, more often than not. Especially in life, we live in a very fast life. We live in a rat race. It's constantly going. It never stops. And it can become very overwhelming and very stressful. That's everything going on around us. So what about what's going on within us? And meditation will help us deal with what's going on within us. It helps you to ground yourself. And even a breathing exercise to start with, it doesn't take much to just stop and breathe for 5 minutes. Try and focus on your breath. Don't be focusing on everything around you. And if you find your mind wandering, bring it back to your breath. And that's just starting small like that and building it up. Now, meditation is very easy, but it does take a lot of practice to do well and to start getting the benefits of it. So you have to keep consistent with your meditation, but it does work, believe me. Having faith and belief that recovery works, that your life is changing, things are getting better, and faith and belief in whatever it is you have faith and belief in, and reinforcing that faith. And by asking for help and meditating and listening to that help, that faith will grow in you. And acceptance, acceptance that, we can't or never do it on our own. And that's very true, because for anybody who's been in an active addiction, I know from my own experience, many's a time I tried to control my drinking, cut it back, stop, change, do all different kinds of things. It never worked for very long. I think the most I got was maybe a month, and then I was back at it even worse than before. And that's because I was trying to do this on my own, and I couldn't do it on my own, and it took me a lot of years to figure that one out. But, it's about saying, well, I can't do this on my own, but I need help. So again, it's asking for that help. The prayer, asking for help, faith that that help will come, belief that that help will come, that I can make those changes with the help of other people. It's not saying that they're going to do it for you, but you are going to have the help, and knowing that you have the help of other people. To remove our shortcomings, and shortcomings are just, I suppose, our character defects, negative feelings, negative thoughts, beliefs, etc. So becoming aware of what holds us back in life, and whatever that is that holds you back. And when you get to the step 7, after doing your 6th step and your 5th step, you kind of have a good idea what does hold you back, what is negative in your life and stops you from moving forward. So, aware that a lot of it is internal. Yes, there's external things you might have to change. There's certain people, places, situations you might have to do differently. But majority of this stuff comes from within you. So it's knowing what's going on within you, your own negative feelings, your thoughts, your behaviors. Making changes, letting go of old defects of character, replace them with new character attributes. And rather than just focusing on the negative defects of character, you're only going to reinforce them and make them worse, because you're putting your attention on the negative again. Is to change that and say, well, look, I'm not going to look at that, but I'll look at what makes me feel good, what makes me a better person in myself, what character attributes do I have, and what can I turn around. So if I have a defective character, can I turn it on its head and do the opposite, and focus on the opposite, and keep doing that, and you will find you'll replace the one with the other. Sorry. And an onset of hope and a new start, and starting anew. And that's going back to step 2, where we did that as well, saying this is a step of hope, this is a program of hope, and it very much is, so that onset of hope, a new start, you're kind of trimming away all the wreckage, all the rubbish from the past, when you're moving forward now, and things are starting to look better for you, So just to sum that up, accepting our new way of life, and accepting it for what it is, because at this stage you will start to see the benefits. You definitely will. If you're doing the program and they're doing the suggested things, you will start to see that, God, this is a lot better than what my old life was. And any things you might have missed from your old life, like your old friends, the going out, the different things that you still might be pining for, will really, really be a distant memory now. They won't have that same attachment as they might have had, earlier on in recovery. Okay, well, that's step 7, and I'll see you over in step 8. Okay, thanks.